Hey everyone, Blake here. I am the host of the Fasting Lifestyle Podcast. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Now, I am also a health coach. So I wanted to announce that my community fasting academy is live and up and running. It's a weekly group coaching class to overhaul your lifestyle and feel the best you've ever felt with the power of fasting, whole foods, and group accountability. And for right now, I am offering your first month free. So just click the link in the description box below to get started. And stay tuned for the show. What's up, everyone? Blake here. Welcome back to the Fasting Lifestyle Podcast. I have another amazing guest for you guys today. We have Alfred G Romano. He is an artist, he is a naturopath, and he has been on his plant-based and fasting journey for over 10 years. So super excited to have you on the show, Alfred. Thank you for being here. Welcome. And I wanted to start the show out with learning more about you and your background and what got you into this lifestyle.
So, hello, and thank you for inviting me. My journey into a healthier and more conscious lifestyle began when I was a child. Around 6 years old, I suffered about constant sore throat and recurring colds. So, every couple of months, I ended up to taking antibiotics. I was 6. So, we went to doctor with my mom, and the doctor said to my mom, your son naturally produces mucus, so he should take antibiotics every 3 months, even if he's not sick. Can you imagine? So walking out of the office, I told my mother, I don't want to take medicine when I'm not sick. Inside myself, I made like a silent promise. And I said, I want to understand what is behind this kind of code, why everyone is affected about it, why we are not able to breathe properly because oxygen is so important, and I want to help people. So suddenly, after a couple of years, a couple of decades, I started to understand what this means. So law of attraction was already with me at some point. So this is how everything started, because I always been very curious to understand about us, about to have a peaceful life with myself, with other people.
Yeah, I mean, that's an incredible story. So you started out very young, you were producing more mucus than apparently the average child. And so the doctor told you to get on antibiotics, which you were expressing that's a big no-no. And antibiotics are not good for us unless certain acute situations, certain emergency situations where we need to kill an infection. But even at a young age, you knew that. And so what was some of your next steps as you started to come into adulthood that were moving you towards plant-based or wanting to become a naturopath?
Okay, to become a naturopath, my path into naturopathy has been almost like a kind of destiny for me. One day I accompanied, that makes sense, accompanied this English, because sometimes I can commit some mistakes, sorry. So I went with a
Oh, you sound
friend to
great,
the,
bro.
oh, thanks. So I went to the Academy of Naturopathy in Battipaglia here in Italy with a friend, and I saw a woman practicing a kind of healing therapy. And I was so skeptical because I've never been really interested in naturopathy, energy, or this kind of feelings, or tarot, so stuff like this. So I was so skeptical. I said, "What what's going on? What you doing?" So she told me to try on my own and see if I got this kind of skill. So, but go to the butcher, buy a slice of liver. So to your butcher, to the shop, keep this slice of liver in your room and place your hands above it, like a healing. 20 minutes one side, 20 minutes to the other side. For 1 week, and after this 40 minutes total, write what's going on with this piece of liver, if it smell, how it look like, and what's happened. So I said to myself, if I am like a healing therapist, or I got this kind of pranic energy inside me, because I was so skeptical, I think this will be my path. So I've done it. I keep it the slice of liver in my room, away from the contact with sun, contact to sun, and a bit in the shadow. 20 minutes, and then after 1 week, I don't know how, I don't know what's happened, but this was like the insole of the shoes, was not smelly, completely like a mummy, the one in Egypt. And I said, okay, this made me realize that this is sensitivity. I wanted to dedicate my life to helping others. And this is how my path started. But also it started because I felt like a bit lost. What I want to do after my, in Italian it's called superiore school. It's like after college, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to the university, or what do you want to do? Do you want to find a job? Who you want to do? So, and that's it. So, and naturopath try to guide people towards balance using natural methods: nutrition, lifestyle, stress reduction, natural therapies, and education in general. So we don't diagnose or treat disease. That is very, very important to spread around. And we help people understand themselves, their habits, and the environment. That is very, very important, so they can make their own choices. It's an holistic approach, so it's 360 degrees around you. And you have to respect the body's natural intelligence, because our body is so smart, and we can adapt to our environment, a kind of things we got around, water we drinking, the air, the information, if we watch television or not. No. I know a lot of the audience we got today knows about these things, so they know.
Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying the podcast. I wanted to interrupt real quick just to let you know that I just published my new book. It's called The Fasting Guidebook. You can get your copy for free via the link below at my website, fasting.lifestyle. Just enter your name and email address and you can unsubscribe anytime. Also want to let you know that my community, Fasting Academy, is up and running. We are live. So if you wanted to take your fasting practice deeper and employ some of these amazing practices and changes into your lifestyle, then go ahead and check that out. For the first 100 members of the community, it's going to be at a discounted rate. So help me fill those spots and get a super good price on my community. And without further ado, let me let you get back to the podcast, and I will check in soon. So much to unpack there, but before we get more into your naturopathic journey, I wanted to understand, were you able to overcome the mucus issues you were having as a child?
Yes.
When did you overcome that?
I try to understand what my friends and relatives doing that makes them sick. So most of the people doing something, and if I'm going to do something completely different. So I started research. I started trying to understand what sugar done to us, especially the white sugar. And this it started to make sense in my head, because I saw that when Christmas, Halloween, Easter, we're going to eat a lot of sugar or sugary, like sweet stuff. What's going on? And lots of people get sick. Not because there is a kind of virus around, but probably is the sugar, I thought. And if I'm going to eat less sugar, but everything is happened very, very slow with myself, because as you know, with nutrition and diets, you need to understand properly what means eating something. So I ended up to do a kind of meditation, eating meditation, if this makes sense. So when you're eating, you should stay really, really focused on what you're doing. You should be there, have a kind of environment, a relaxed environment, chill environment, some kind of classic music, maybe if you could, or silence, so you can really, really taste the food. Are you going to record in your mind, if you do this kind of meditation, you're going to record the taste of the food. And this is nice because after you like record it and you got the memories of all of this food, you can retrieve it when you got some kind of cravings. And this is amazing because if you got a craving of like chocolate or French fries, for example, you remember the moment when you eat it, you come back there, you feel the emotion, and then you come back to the reality after at least 30 seconds, 1 minute, and you don't have that craving anymore because your mind doesn't know if you eat it for real or inside your head. And this makes a huge, huge difference because you're not going to fall again into some kind of cravings that drives you around. Instead of make the craving drives you, you have to drive yourself. So this makes a lots of difference. So I started to understand at school, at the naturopathy school, as I said before, about food. I tried to understand what keto means, keto diet. I tried to understand what means to be a vegetarian, what kind of mistakes you can commit as a vegetarian, because when you're starting, you will eat, as an Italian man, you will eat a lot of pasta with vegetables and that's it, but also a lot of carbs is not really good for our health. So you need to focus and understand properly what this means. So slowly I'm getting better because I started learning what means eat a bit more fruits, vegetables, because I was just a normal guy eating the food that I got in the house. My mom and dad provides for me, and you know, when you are not really conscious about what you're eating and what you're doing, it's normal you ended up with kind of problems. So slowly I started eating a lot of legumes and then a bit more veg. But I have to say also I stopped chewing gum. That has been the first things I take off from my day-to-day life first, and then dairy. Dairy milk has been another big point, huge point at the age of 19. I take off these two things. After that, sweets, because I read something like that pharmaceutical places produce also sweets. And I said, this is something that is not right. It's absolutely not right. And these three things, I take it off completely, and I stopped eating since I was 19. Now, today I'm 35, so thanks God for this kind of choice. And also the naturopathy school helped me a lot to grow in a spiritual way with some kind of like workshop in energies, in witnesses. Like every week we used to have a person that had a kind of special alternative path. And huge inspiration, have to say. And for the 20s in Italy, the south of Italy, is like a very stick to tradition place. Was a huge revolution, I have to say.
That's
So
so cool, Alfred. Man, so you started to eliminate chewing gum and then less pastas, and you were replacing the pastas with legumes, and then you started to eliminate the sweets. And then you mentioned as you were going through naturopathic school, you know, you were also practicing this eating meditation. And that is huge, brother. I love that. You know, I often think that, you know, even myself, nobody's perfect, but, you know, we use food for entertainment, for self-soothing, to avoid boredom. So what a beautiful way to enjoy a meal is to slowly and quietly eat a meal, maybe with some classical music in the background or just silence. And then as you're eating that food, really chew it, you know, really taste it and taste the flavors and then record that in your mind. And so the novelty of, oh man, I'm gonna have some French fries, I'm gonna have some sweets, it kind of dies down and you focus more on how you're feeling. And of course we feel better with, you know, the raw foods and the water rich foods. And I want to talk more on that, but bringing back to one of your first responses when you're talking about imbuing the liver with prana, and then you were mentioning in your naturopathic school that you would have a different alternative path speaker every week. So talk more about that with us, about prana, about energy, about the spiritual powers that we have, and how that's tied to health.
okay, I'd like to start with something that is touchable, something that is understandable for everyone. We can start talking about the Kirlian photography. Kirlian, coming from Russia, they invented this kind of camera that can capture the energy and the aura around the body. Same with food, same with animals. So it's a concrete way to see what's going on. We are not just skin, bones, blood. We are more than that. We are more than that. So since you started to understand this kind of Kirlian pictures, so you can understand a bit more about what's going on in our body and trust more the process. That is very important. And also, uh, I can feel it when you want to put the intention in doing something. If you put the intention when you watch something, that something could appear or something can happen that you're thinking about and watching at the same time. Did you heard about it? It's happened to you, I'm sure. So just something like this, just if you're not really comfortable or confident with this kind of topics, can make you think about. Or when you just want to like do a massage to your partner, you're doing from your heart, from the bottom of your heart, you're doing with love, and your partner for sure is going to enjoy it. So if you put the intention when you're doing something, it's very important. When you want to do some kind of healing therapy, when you want to just touch, when you want to do a kind of not professional, but just a massage to your partner, for example, is something amazing if you keep going in your mind with love, with open heart. So if all of us can focus a bit more on our inner peace, I think this world would be different, really, really different, because we are all connected. We are all connected. And
Yeah, man. So
what we can say more about energy, just research, just find books, open up, listen to podcasts, just open, because we are so aligned, all of us. So you can easily find information and trying to understand and make your point of view on the situation. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, man. You know, we are all connected, and sometimes when we're thinking about something, it's like it instantly manifests. Or we have like crazy synchronicities. Like sometimes I see lucky numbers, or I hear, like, I'm listening to a song or something, and like, so the lyrics are talking about rain, and then it starts raining at the same time. Like, just weird, crazy synchronicities like that. And for me, those are spiritual signs that we are in alignment or on the right path, especially, you know, being mindful, just like you were talking about the meditation while you're eating. Just being mindful, being present, and being intentional with your thoughts, your speech, your actions. And you were talking about Carillion photography, and that's so fascinating, man. For the audience, if they haven't seen what this Carillion photography looks like, can you explain to us more what a Carillion photography would look like, maybe of a human or an apple or a dog? And then why is that important then to be eating raw foods versus cooked foods?
Okay, so first you should be in a dark environment, dark camera. You're going to hold with your hands some kind of magnets, positive and negative, and then this is going to be captured through this camera in a picture, and you can see a slice of meat, how is it, and a salad, and you can see the difference. But the same with fish, meat, the same with fruits, the same with nuts, natural bodies, and you can also see this kind of experiments made by Masaru Emoto. He done it the same with water, and this actually proves the same through water. When you put a nice therapy on under a glass, you're going to microscope all the little tiny parts of the water, the cubic iced water in this case, and you're going to see the shape of the little molecule of water, how it's changing. So each ways you can prove to you can see something. And also we are around 75% water. So when you throw like a little pebble in the lake, what's happened? It's the same, but the same could happen with music and frequencies. And I'd like to understand more about it, to be honest, and I'd like to follow a training. So if someone knows a good teacher to learn how to guide a good sound bath, please let us know. Let me know. I don't know about you, but please let us know.
I have a guy for you, Alfred. I have a guy. He's been on the show. His name is Cam Acidy. He's an awesome guy. He does the sound bowls, and I'll get you his information after the show. So you were talking about Masaru Emoto and how you can see these crystalline structures in water when you put good intentions into it. And the Kirlian photography looks kind of like that when we're looking at raw, fresh foods, or a being who is alive. But then when you do Kirlian photography of, let's say, meat or something that's been cooked, it's going to have a lot less of that energy and that organized pattern of an aura around that item when you're taking the Kirlian photography of it. And so people think that this is the same as prana, or another word for it that's used as biophotons, universal energy, chi, all these words that, obviously it seems common sense that an apple is going to have more life force energy than a piece of cooked meat. And that when we're eating food, this is the really interesting part for me, is that when we're eating food, a big part of what is giving us energy is not necessarily the macronutrients, the carbs, the proteins, the fats. That's important, but a lot of the energy that we're getting from the food is actually that life force energy. And that's why we can live on raw foods, we can still build muscle and have energy even though we're not getting as many calories or as much protein as they say that we need. So can you talk about, like, what's your idea of, like, how do you eat? Like, what's a day in the life of your diet, and what do you think is the best diet for most people? And is diet more than just the macronutrients, the carbs, the proteins, and the fats? Can we? Is it really important to make sure that we're intaking those biophotons from live foods?
So there is no special diet right for everyone. This is for sure. There is nothing that is just this and that's it. I'd like to start talking about epigenetic studies, how lifestyle, environment, emotion, and nutrition influence the expression of our genes. It doesn't change the DNA itself, but it changes how DNA behaves. This means there is no perfect for everyone, but what's worked for you depends on your history, biology, environment, emotional world. To take care of yourself, you need culture, knowledge, and awareness. What I'm eating here in Italy is different than what I used to eat in the UK or when I go abroad, for example. So you have to adjust based on what kind of needs you got, what you have to do every day, what kind of level of stress you got. You have to think about these things, but also your beliefs. If you believe that you need vitamin D and you need vitamin B12, it's different from who doesn't believe about it and just get absorbed through the sun and just don't think about B12 but eating just raw food. We are all different, so it's really up to you. What I'm eating in my normal day, for sure, I start with a very good orange juice when it's in season. I'm talking about now, so 4 oranges, 1 lemon. Drink that, and then after a while, because I like to talk about also Shelton and how to organize the food. So first drink, and then I'm going to eat a couple of bananas, always red, very sweet, mature. Apple or mango or papaya. So normally it's always 1 or 2 fruits. And this is my kind of breakfast. Around 8:30, 9 in the morning, before I done it a couple of exercise or yoga or meditation or running. Every day is a little bit different. I don't like to do every day the same things, and also is for our metabolism. If we're eating different stuff, we're going to make sure we are not going to stuck and to low our metabolism. Otherwise, we're going to get in fat, even if we eat this kind of food, raw food, for example. So it's very important, the variation and the season of the food. Very, very important. After, I'm going to bring another orange juice or pineapple juice that I love, and a couple of nuts that could be Brazil nuts or walnuts, more or less 60, 70 grams, sometimes 80 grams, because it's very important, the kind of fats they got. This is a kind of snack. And around 3, 4 o'clock, I'm going to eat a bit more. So I started with kind of lemon water, because I always drink before I'm eating. It helps with my digestion. Always kind of our belief. And then I'm going to make a salad, like mixed salad, different leaves, beetroot, if we got beetroots. I'd like to add a bit of garlic. That is very important for our blood circulation. It's very important. A bit of tomato if they are in on season, especially the black one. That are one of my favorite. And if we can find a kind of unsalted olives, also I like cucumbers, carrots. If you got red onions, is nice as well. And I'll add sesame seeds that are very important for our calcium. Very, very important. And then some kind of unsalted olives is nice, and cucumber and stuff like this. So everything always raw and organic and in season. And after that, I'll stay, and it's more or less 300, 350 grams. If I feel it to eat a bit of fruits after, I'll eat it, some kind of tangerines that I love in this kind of season. Otherwise, I leave for later, and after 3 hours more or less, I eat a bit of tangerines or other fruits like a mango, and that's it. It's very important to keep in your mind that you eat your dinner, but the time, the gap is 3 hours before you're going to sleep. Otherwise, you're going to don't sleep very, very deeply. And this can mistake with your body clock. So the base for me, for an absolutely perfect kind of diet for everyone, the suggestion I can give is try to stick on a certain time when you want to eat. So your body is not going to mistake with the hormones. So it's going to stick to a certain pattern every day, and that's it. Try to eat a bit more when you got sunlight outside. And breakfast, if it's late, is better, because in the morning our body needs to detoxify. So that is very, very important to keep in your mind. If you do just snack in the morning, then that's fine. But remember this, that in the morning our body needs to detoxify. And also how you mix food. It's very easy to learn, but you need discipline to follow. So water or liquid, more or less after half an hour, raw food. And if you still eating cooked food, you eat your your main, we can say. And when you eat like carbs, eating always with greens, like minerals, so the digestion would be easier because we're going to produce some kind of enzymes in our stomach that helps both of them. So you're going to produce these enzymes and your digestion would be better, and you're not going to feel bloated, or you're not going to fart. And that is also very, very important to talking about, because it's so, sometimes it's unpleasant and it's a bit embarrassing, but that's fine. So carbs always with veg, and the same with proteins, always with veg. Sweet stuff, if you can eat it on their own, is better. And I high suggest to eat some kind of dates. That is my kind of chocolate, or the raw chocolate beans that are toasted, but for sure is better than other stuff you find in the supermarkets. So this is the base, and after is up to you. It's up to you. You have to shape around your life and your beliefs. This is my suggestion.
Those are really good tips, Alfred. And I asked you like what would be the optimal diet for most people. Of course, we're all different. It depends on our background, our environment, how we're living, and that plays into our epigenetics. And we have control and we have power over our epigenetics. If we change our lifestyle and start to eat a healthier raw food diet, then our genes can express themselves better. We can start to change our skin, change our hair, lose weight, have more energy. It's really remarkable how the human body can adapt, especially if you're in a family and you say, oh, everybody in my family has diabetes, but you look at them and maybe it's a bit genetic, but maybe it's also lifestyle related because everybody's eating, seed oils and sugar and things like that. But then you're the one who decides to eat healthy, whole foods, plant-based, high raw foods, and then all of a sudden you don't have diabetes, you're losing weight. Okay, is that, is that nature or nurture? So that's a really good point that you make there. And I love how you talk about, you wake up in the morning, you have some orange juice with a little bit of lemon in there, and that helps to detox the body in the morning. You talked about pushing the breakfast later, so kind of like an intermittent fasting sort of schedule, because you also talked about making sure there was a 3-hour window after your last big meal before you go to bed. And then it's just mostly fruit. Besides your big salad that you have for dinner, it sounds like you're mostly a high fruit, raw foodist. And you were talking about metabolism as well. And, you want to balance your metabolism and eat at the same time every day and get your body in a routine. So that's going to keep you stable. So yeah, lots of good information there, man. And so let's talk about now your experience with fasting.
Okay.
So when did you get into fasting? What type of fasting have you done? And how has that changed your life? What benefits have you received? What lessons have you learned? And maybe also with your clients, you could give us some examples of how that has helped in your practice as a naturopath.
Okay, we're talking about the end of 2015. I discovered fasting because I wanted to offer more to my clients. I began studying it first in theory, so researching about Arnold Red around breatharianism, Henry Mumford, And then I start doing a bit of practice, just skipping the dinner. But at that time, I was starting eating like vegan, so I was quite sensitive. So fasting gave me mental clarity first, inner peace, a sense of reconciliation with myself and with others, because as you vibrating, your energy vibrates based on what we're eating, you're going to spread around that kind of vibration. So for me, fasting has been a huge discovery in my life, one of the best discoveries I made in my life. When you stop eating for a period of time, the mind becomes quite emotional rise, and you begin to see yourself in more honest and compassionate way, to be honest. And fasting helped me to make peace with my past. I've been adopted. I had lots of wounds to rebalance, to be honest. And also with my relationship closure and with my old partners as well. So it gave me clarity, emotional release, deep connection. And the healing is not just physical, it's energetic, spiritual, is emotional. And lots of my clients had lots of benefits from it. I remember one client of mine went to the doctor and they said, your shoulders needs to have surgery straight away, otherwise you're not going to feel better, because inside your tendons they cannot like retrieve obviously the normal medicine. So he came to me probably because he felt like I was the last point, the last beach to find. And I said to him, look, in 4 months, if you stick to this kind of different suggestion, healthy lifestyle, and apply clay, green clay on your shoulder, you will feel better. And after these 4 months, he went to the doctor and everything was normal. He lost, I can say in kilos, something like 5 kilos. I don't know in stones, but something like 5 kilos. He felt better and his shoulder was better. Also, because that kind of emotional situation, because when we got a kind of pain wherever is located in our body is connected to our emotion. So when you don't have the key of a situation, you can imagine the key like a bone inside your shoulder. So there is a key that makes this kind of move. So with this kind of fasting, you're going to feel better yourself and what you want and what to do in this kind of situation, the key of the door, the key of the situation. So he felt better. He find a way to make balance in his life and find his key, and he felt better completely. And clay also gave them lots of benefits, because clay just absorbed the kind of problem he had, kind of humidity, we can say, and it felt better, especially if you're doing on the beach when outside is warm under a very hot sun. So, yeah, this is my kind of example of what's happened and experience.
That's been my same experience, Alfred. And it's like when I asked that question, I was like, he sounds like me, because that's exactly the same answer that I would give if somebody was to ask me. Like, I'm I'm very lucky and very blessed to have done a lot of work on my physical body with when it comes to juice cleanses and water fasting and dry fasting. But just very recently, after I know there's always more cleansing and more repair and more healing to do. We're never completely, perfect in our physical body, nor should we even shoot for that. but you start to turn a corner to where, you know, your body's working pretty well. Your digestive system is pretty clean. You've got your diet on track pretty well. You're eating high fruit. You're eating high raw, mostly living foods. You're exercising. And then when you're fasting, at that point, yeah, you might lose some water weight, you might lose some fat, you might, you know, go into ketosis and trim up, and, you know, maybe do some more cleansing of your tissues or healing of, you know, whatever you have going on. But it starts to become so much more of a spiritual practice. And you start to heal that emotional body, that mental body, and then that leads into deeper healing into your physical body. You do become more compassionate with others, with yourself, and you learn so much more about yourself because you're not numbing yourself with food. So if any of these thoughts or feelings are coming up, you can't distract yourself from them, you know, by taking a bite of something or taking a drink of something if you're doing a dry fast. You have to sit with that and understand, you know, yeah, I've got some wounds that I need to work on, or I've got some quirks in my personality that I want to work on. And, you know, maybe forgive myself or be more kind to myself, so then that I can, you know, be happier just in myself, but also be more kind to other people, because how we treat ourselves is how we treat other people too. You know, that it's a mirror of that. And, you know, there's all kinds of different ways that we can deny our physical senses and then draw inward. You know, fasting is a great way to do that. And you and I have been talking about another methodology that I find very interesting, which is darkness. So tell us more about darkness, man. This is super intriguing. What is the power of, let's say somebody wants to do a darkness retreat or something like that, and they're in the dark for days on end? What could the benefits of that be, and why would somebody do that?
Okay, so I can say our kind of West society is not really ready for it. This is my first interview. I'm talking about this, and the dark retreat was one of the most profound experiences of my life. I went to Bali in a place called Tejakula. It's a very spiritual and still wild out of tourist place in Bali. The room was completely dark, no light, no visual stimulation, nothing, just silence, myself, and outside obviously was like a jungle. I went there with my friend Caro, that I want to say hi to her, and she found this retreat over there because normally there is a very good teacher about dark retreats in Thailand, and over there also they are a bit more expensive, but you have to pay the skills of this. Mantik, I think, is the name of the teacher, his skills. So the first 2 days your body just simply rests, adjust to the non-light, to the dark you got outside, because without light the nervous system just shut and reset. Then something extraordinary happened. You begin to move into the dark with in an easy way, and you feel the sense of sharpness inside, and you feel energy more intensely. You're not going to see anymore. So taking off as one of the sense of our body, you're going to reverse that energy inside. So you experience kind of lucid dreams, memory reversing. So you're going also to feel emotional releases, and even symbolic encounter with relatives that passed away. It felt like a regression, like revisiting unresolved moments of your life with new clarity. So you think about, yeah, all day doing stuff in this room. When you're going to sleep, you start dreaming about something. It's like go out of the room and you meet your relatives. They talk to you, they explain you stuff. Or in my case, this is the point where I found a very deep and inner peace. I saw like you put a video on YouTube, some scenes of my childhood when I was younger, that probably had some kind of trauma, something happened, kind of this regression when you got a session with a psychotherapist and you go in regression. So you are able to see like with the eye of the camera, the situation, and someone behind you or close to you say to you, look, Alfred, in my case, my name, look, Alfred, everything is right. This is what's happened. No worries. Now you are ready to letting go this. And wow, it's just blow your mind. And when you wake up, you feel just, wow, what's going on in my life? Wow, is real all of this? But also you have to be prepared to stay with yourself. No computer, no screens, no contacts, no phone calls. So I created my own routine. A bit of yoga, a bit of meditation, breath work, very, very important to breathe and go deeply because oxygen is so important for us. It keeps ourselves in line with the present, what we're doing, and a bit of Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is the Hawaiian practice of forgiveness and reconciliation. And I drank only fresh juices during this dark retreat. So every evening I received a pineapple juice that tasted like pure sunlight. And in the darkness, the juice felt like drinking the essence of creation. Because this kind of pineapple that cannot be sold outside of that locality, of that place, because it's going to get mold, it's not going to taste good. So they had a lot and in season. So some people say that prolonged darkness increase the brain's production of a certain natural neurochemicals associated with dreams and intuition. I don't make scientific claims, but I can say that the inner world becomes incredibly vivid, and the dark retreat did me like answers, but it gave me space. And in that space, I found parts of myself I had forgotten. So I'm so happy that week just flew by. I had more or less lunchtime watermelon that was in season because it's been the last January in Bali. And in the evening, this pineapple juice was tasting of God in the dark. I said to myself, okay, this is the end of the day. Now I can go to sleep. And when you leave the place and you see the light again, because we entered when was the sunset and we left at the sunset, so the light was a bit lower. You cannot leave after 1 week. I got the stress to go from dark to the morning sun. So we left when the light was a bit lower. So you're going to see different things energetically around you, feel different kind of auras around. You can see more vivid colors around, and also if you got like view problem, it's very, very good to think about to do it. Just only if you got this kind of like view problem, I highly suggest to spend at least 1 week in there. We also had the kind of monk lady that usually every evening after leaving the Jews, she started to pray for us outside. I start a fire, so to keep away all the bad spirits around, because when your inner energy raise, it's like you're going to spread around more light. So all the dark spirits are attracted from this. And you can go in trouble, especially when you got this kind of vivid dreams. So everything was like shaped perfectly, I had to say. Truly, has been an amazing lady and helped us a lot. Tuli is a Sweden lady that most of the more or less 15, 16 years ago. And she was diagnosticated with the cancer, stage 3, end of life in a couple of months. She's always been very, very spiritual, and she said, just move somewhere and try to find your peace there. Things after things, what's happened? She discovered the fasting, and she had this huge gift from the universe, from God, from our inner intelligence, from our inner body, from the God is inside us. This is what I think. 43 days of fasting. She was brand new, no cancer, and she's been able to make all of this. And also, she teaches people, if you want to learn how to guide this kind of retreat, like fasting retreat, how to be everything run smoothly, and she gives you the skills to do it. So hands up, great lady, great experience. Absolutely amazed about that.
That sounds so incredible, Alfred, and thank you for sharing your journey. You know, you were already a naturopath. You've already been on the plant-based journey, raw, high fruitarian. You've also done lots of fasting, and fasting has changed your life. And those have all been incredible, powerful transformations for me. And so to hear somebody, with your accolades and your background, talk about the power of a darkness retreat and say that that's been one of the most transformational things for you, I mean, that is huge. So I'm definitely going to look into that more. I would love to partake in a darkness retreat. I'll look up that individual who you mentioned, and let's stay in touch about this. And I would love to hear what sort of workings you have going on over there in Italy, my friend, and see if there's any way that I can help you. And as we're coming to a close of this beautiful conversation, I just want to thank you again for coming on the show, sharing your wisdom, sharing your knowledge. And you seem like you're just so calm and centered, and you seem like an exemplary person of this lifestyle, that you're talking the talk and you're walking the walk. And I just wanted to ask you, what is your ultimate goal? What is your mission? And where would you like to see the world going? Do you want to see more people coming into this lifestyle? Do you want to help more people? What's your vision for the future for Alfred?
This is a huge question. So how I see people that are more brave, to step into a natural lifestyle, to reconnect with nature first. So everyone, who more, who less, step into what's natural, from where we came from. It's possible that we are stuck in this kind of city without a soul. It's possible that our life is just shaped around money. It's possible that we identify ourselves just with money and how much money you earn or what kind of job you do. So this will be the first step that people are going to think about to open themselves. And after that, each of us is different, so they're going to learn some kind of skills for their own independence. That is for sure. If you want to have some kind of experience in this life, if you are more keen to help people, if you are more keen to swap your job for products, if you are more keen to stay with in the land to be a farmer, if you are more keen to organize things in our kind of new off-grid places around the world, and I think headship will spread all around. I hope so. And I hope so we're going to come back to just the simple and easy way to swap. And the kind of banks going down, to be honest, because also the private property has been a huge mistake for most of us. And only a little part of the population in the world get advantage from this. And this is not right, absolutely not right. But I think we're coming down on this kind of earth, on this kind of planet, because we have to study, we have to practice what this means to stay in a body and to have this kind of feelings towards others, feelings towards what we got and how to manage. So each of us, each soul of us is very old soul, I think. So we are here and things are going on like that because we have just to learn, especially how to love more. And also we are all different individuals, and there is a nice book that is called The Soul's Plan that I highly suggest to everyone to read, because you're going to really open your eyes on this kind of different life we got. You're going to learn how to take off from your life judgment, and only if you work of not judgmental life every day is a huge spiritual path to do. It's just huge. If you can feel the presence, to not judge from the little to the big stuff happening in your life, is huge, man. It's just this, a huge inner work you can do. Just only this. And it's going to raise the energy of our grid in the planet 1,000 times, I think. Just these little things we can do. Easy and simple like that. The Soul's Plan is the book. Also, my targets is to work a bit more with retreats. Try to guide a little tiny group of 8-10 people and guide them to understand different kind of skills, how to take care of yourself, how to organize your new healthy lifestyle, how to organize your food to feel better and to overcome some kind of little tiny things that if you adopt this kind of different lifestyle, you can feel better easily without medicine, without stress yourself too much. and everything is going to be a bit more easier. And also because I don't ask a lot of money for these kind of things, because I want to do not create a kind of pyramid scheme where these clients maybe come to me, but after I don't want them to be always like stick to me. I want them to learn. Look, there is this kind of information. There is this book. Read it. I can talk about this, but when you go home and you are with your family, just read it, collect information, and then one day all the seeds we spread in the little retreat we run around 10 days, they're going to blow and be great in your life. More or less, one day everything will be like that, and I hope to find people. Also, if someone wants to help me to build this kind of dream, is welcome to give me a suggestion or collaboration or a place where to do it. I don't know, around the world, but it's important that it's like sunny and we got good fruits. This is the main things. That's it. And this is my goal. Like my goal is like to travel a bit more, know more, learn more. I'd like to learn how to be a good iridologist, and also I wanted to learn how to play guitar. I wanted to learn how to manage the energy of Tantra. I started, but it's a long path, Tantra. To master the Tantra is a long path. And Qigong. Qigong is, these are my goals, and I never feel arrived. There is always something to learn, always. Also, I wanted to ask you, did you felt any kind of differences in your eyes color when you done the fasting? Something changed in your eye colors?
Well, I can tell you this, Alfred, that I did take pictures of my eyes when I started my raw food journey just about a year ago. And since then, I've done tons of fasting, tons of juice cleanses, but I haven't really looked in my eyes and compared with the original photos. But I can take more photos and then share with you the new photos and the old photos, and then maybe you can take a look and see if you see any differences. I find iridology to be super fascinating, and I love your response of where you see the best direction for humanity to go. And it's getting back to nature. It's getting back to ourselves. It's getting out of the rat race and not worrying about, not having to worry about money. And because it is a soul sucking path if that's all that you care about. Health is wealth. We still live in, 2025, almost 2026, 3D. We have to have income, we have to have a roof over our heads and be able to exchange money with people. But, there's something to be said about focusing on how you treat yourself and how you treat other people. And once enough of us start doing that, that's going to just create a snowball effect, man. And so I would love to see what you have with all your goals on the horizon, and be a part of that or contribute or have you back on the show to share more, because I feel like we've just scratched the surface. So once again, man, thank you so much for being here. And before we end the show, where can the audience find you if they want to work with you?
We're going to leave my Instagram in the bio, I think, but Alfred.G Romano is my Instagram, or on Facebook, Alfredino Giuseppe Romano, and you will find me straight away. That's it. Or we will leave my emails too. And yeah, that's it. Easy and simple like that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect, man. Alfred, awesome, man. Great job. Thank you so much for being here. I will definitely make sure that I put all your links in the description box below. You guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Fasting Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you for being here, and until next time, I will talk soon. Peace.
Peace and love. Bye bye.